Alright, y'all, this is Nikki Blue on TikTok and Blue Star 3 on YouTube. And the second thing I wanted to talk about today is marijuana. Of course, I have nothing to worry about because I've been sober for 6 years and I can pass any test. But I wanted to talk about the drama of weed, basically. So I have mixed feelings about it, but that's what I wanted to talk about. So, I feel like in states where marijuana is illegal and you have to go to a drug dealer, you have to hide it, you have to do the drugs illegally, there's no quality check on it, and it's full of a lot of illegal activity. In those states, I kind of feel like marijuana and weed is kind of what they would call a starter drug that gets you into using harder drugs. And the reason I feel that way is because you have to do all these shady things. And in these states, I feel like it is a drug that starts you into a life of using harder and worse drugs. Also in these states, the drugs aren't regulated, so a lot of different chemicals get onto the drug and makes it less safe. I would say these drugs in these states where it's illegal is a gateway drug because it gets you into a habit that is very negative. For instance, if you're in a state where marijuana is illegal, it's kind of like a gateway drug because you have to use a drug dealer. That drug dealer is going to possibly suggest other drugs for you to use. And it's just a bunch of shadiness, but it gets you into that lifestyle. You're in a lifestyle where you're nervous, you're hiding, you're hoping you don't get caught. You're hiding it in your car. You don't know exactly what you're smoking because it's always a different strand or a different kind. And it just leads you into a life where there's a big cloud of mystery. States where marijuana is legal and they do have dispensaries and they have quality control and you know what you're smoking, those states, I feel like marijuana isn't a gateway drug because it's treated like a little bit like alcohol and cigarettes where it's monitored and you don't have to have it in your car and you're not constantly looking out for cops and other people to rat you out. So basically my take on marijuana is 50-50. I believe in some states it is a gateway drug because it gets you into the lifestyle of what you do when you want drugs that are illegal. But in the states where it is legal, I don't think it is a gateway drug because you're buying it legally and there's no shady activity. So I know I used to love weed, and I did, and it's always been one of my favorite drugs I ever did. Granted, I think when you do abuse it, kind of like what I did, it does kind of get you ill, mentally ill, and can onset schizophrenia. But I still don't hate it as much as I hate other hardcore drugs because I feel like marijuana does have some benefits. And let's just face it, there's a part in our brain, a receptor, that recepts marijuana. And it's the only drug ever that our brain actually has a connection with it when it's used. And it's hard for me to feel like a natural plant and a drug that our brain has a receptor for is really that bad. It's all about how you use it at the end of the day. You can use it or abuse it. And I feel like marijuana should kind of be like alcohol. And you only do it a few times a week or on the weekends or recreationally, but not just all the time constantly, because it affects your family, it affects your relationships, it affects every aspect of your life if you're heavily addicted to it. So that's what I kind of wanted to talk about, really, because like I'm seeing these articles where in the UK it's all legal now and they're testing quality, and it's a lot more professional industry than it is in the United States. And then I see the United States is very split on it again, and all the red states want it illegal and all the blue states don't care and they have it legal. But because they are finding negative things about marijuana now, that it does cause schizophrenia, that it does cause a respiratory illness and all this, I have a feeling that it's probably not going to ever be federally legal, because there's a good half of the nation that wants to keep it illegal. And if that's in play, how can something be legalized if half the people want it illegal? So I lost my hopes and dreams about it ever being legal federally, because there's just so much of a fight against it. But it is very, very illegal in Tennessee, as you guys can tell. I'm wearing the Tennessee logo. And it's illegal here. I still, every day I see people getting arrested for it, thrown in prison and jail for long periods of time. And the culture around marijuana here is just really bad. Like the older people don't want it legal. They want to keep it illegal. The county and the police and the court systems want to keep making money off of marijuana cases, so they keep it illegal. And it's not really healthy here anymore. Like, even if I could smoke it, I wouldn't, because fentanyl and everything is in so much of the stuff now that it'd be really hard to get a strand that was safe. But Tennessee definitely wants to keep making money off it. I don't ever see them legalizing it. The same with Florida. States that have a lot of older retired people do not want it legal. So like places like Florida, Tennessee, are probably going to keep it illegal for as long as possible. But because I'm seeing a shift of politics, and then just they keep trying to find bad things out about marijuana, I feel like they're going to keep finding new things that's wrong with it to keep it illegal. Because if you have like a million doctors trying everything they can to find something bad about something, they're going to find something bad. But you got to understand, it's the same with all drugs. You drink too much alcohol, it's bad. If you smoke too much, it's bad. If you do weed, it's bad. I'm not surprised that they found out bad things about it, because so many people were looking for bad things. When you look for bad things, you can usually find bad things. So, but I do think it's kind of sad, because I was hoping the U.S. would eventually legalize it. But unfortunately, from what I see now in our culture, it most likely will not happen, because there is still enough people in our country that want to keep it illegal. And since they are finding bad things out about it, it makes it that much harder. But anyway, guys, that was the second thing I wanted to talk about, besides the fact that I'm getting hacked. But I'm split between weed, I think it is a gateway drug in some states. In other states, I feel like it's absolutely fine. But it's like a 50-50. I can't give it complete an A-OK, especially when I see marijuana in states where it's illegal, how dangerous it is, and what it can do to families and the person using. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my chit-chat on marijuana and how I feel about it. And I'm not using it, and I don't plan on using it for a long time, but I just wanted to tell you guys my thoughts on it, because I thought I would share with you guys something other than bad news. I love you guys. Bye.